It has been exactly 1 year since Patrick Lyoya was shot and killed during a traffic stop by former Grand Rapids police officer Christopher Schurr. And in the year since the tragedy took place, we reflect really on how those events on April 4th of last year unfolded and everything that came after that. Rudolph Sonetta has a timeline this morning on events and where that shooting death case stands today. Ruda.
Yeah, Elliot, it's been a tough year for the city of Grand Rapids as the family lost a son. Frustrations ran high, and the Grand Rapids Police Department had to do a deep dive into their policies and procedures. Needless to say, Grand Rapids was forever changed exactly 1 year ago.
Hey, stay in the car! Stay in the car!
On a rainy morning on April 4th of last year, 26-year-old Congolese immigrant Patrick Lyoya was pulled over by then GRPD officer Christopher Schurr. The department later said the stop was for a license plate that didn't match the registration of the car.
Get in the car! Dude, I'm stopping you.
Lyoya seemed disoriented, trying to get away from the officer. Toxicology reports later revealed Lyoya had a blood alcohol level content 3 times the legal limit. A struggle ensued as Schurr tried to get a handle on Lyoya, who reached for the officer's taser. The two fell to the ground, Schurr getting on top of Lyoya, grabbing his gun and shooting Lyoya once in the back of the head, instantly killing him. The family, speaking through a translator, telling the community they were left heartbroken.
Right now I'm bleeding, I'm hurt.
Schurr was put on paid administrative leave shortly after, as Michigan State Police investigated. Part of their investigation included looking over all angles of video, body cam video of the incident, but the community became restless and wanted to see the video for themselves. Once MSP released it 9 days later, Chief Winstrom, who was only 25 days into the job, was able to show the public what transpired.
This is a difficult day.
As the family, originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo, mourned the loss of their loved one, the community expressed their frustrations through peaceful protests all across the city.
We left Africa to come here to feel safe.
Lyoya family attorney Ben Johnson took on the case, and then notable civil rights attorney Ben Crump joined in, and the legal battle ensued.
Well, we hope that there's accountability, that there's justice, and that this will hopefully prevent tragedies like this from happening in America, especially to marginalized minorities that it seems to happen to disproportionately.
On June 9th, Kent County prosecutor Chris Becker charged Christopher Schurr with second-degree murder. Due to the charges, Schurr was fired from the department.
Second-degree murder is a felony offense. It is punishable by up to life in prison with the possibility of parole.
On October 31st, a judge made the decision that Chris Schurr would stand trial for the charge. Schurr's attorneys asked for the charge to be dropped. It's something a judge later denied. However, that trial has been pushed back after defense attorneys asked for more time to prepare. Meanwhile, an ongoing civil lawsuit filed by the family continues against both the city and Schurr.
You end up with Patrick Lyoya being unjustly executed by this Grand Rapids police officer. And that is why we have to continue to speak truth to power and file this wrongful death lawsuit.
In the aftermath, Lyoya's death has had a hand in the roadmap for the future of policing within GRPD.
We brought in de-escalation training, self-regulation training, constitutional policing training. We're switching to a model use of force training involving Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So it's less strikes, more holds, and control tactics.
So that brings us to today. As we reflect on this tumultuous year in Grand Rapids, Schurr's rescheduled trial now will begin October the 24th.
And now let's discuss the significance of this trial. A police officer in Michigan actually being charged with murder after an officer-involved shooting. That is not typical. The defense says this is a case of first reference in the entire state and continuously pushes that a GRPS training captain testified Schurr did exactly what he was trained to do in an escalating situation. The outcome of this trial could set a precedent in the state for repercussions officers could face for their actions on the job. So all eyes, of course, will be on Grand Rapids October 24th.